Sunday morning, and we appear to have had a pretty decent dump of snow last night. Even all the way down to here in Rewired, apparently there was a coating of snow first thing this morning, according to one of my eagle-eyed viewers. I wasn't awake early enough to notice it, of course, but certainly up in Chamonix, judging by my friends' social media feeds, there's been a good 10-15 centimetres of lying snow in the valley. So obviously there's going to be a lot more up on the mountain. So I'm just heading up to Sands Bay now for a quick blast to see what, if anything, we caught down here. So there only seems to have been about 10 centimetres of snow up here at 1800 metres in Sands Bay, maybe even less. So it seems like Chamonix might have actually caught more than its fair share of snow this time around. If there was 10 centimetres of snow down in the valley, there must be considerably more than that at 1800 metres in Chamonix Valley. This is what I was talking about at the start of last week's snow report. The temperatures are well below freezing today. It's at least -2 or -3. There's no sun to speak of to be melting the snow. Yet in spite of that, all those 10 centimetres plus are completely gone here. That's because the heat from the ground is melting it from below. And this is why once you've lost the base in spring, you'll never get it back. Unless you're to have sustained weeks and weeks of snow, which we just never get anymore in the Alps. We haven't had that since the 80s really. And this is why you need to form a good base in December and January when the sun is at its weakest, because if you don't form your base at the start of the season, you can never get it. Hence why snow cannons are so crucial for the ski industry in Europe. I was having this argument with somebody in the comments of my video last week, and yes, of course, cannons are very energy intensive, but they do not waste water. Water is never wasted. It can be cycled infinitely throughout the environment. This year's snowmelt goes on to form next year's reservoirs and in turn forms the snow base again, and that cycle can go on indefinitely. And here in the Alps, a lot of our electricity comes from hydroelectric schemes anyway, so actually, even in terms of energy use, it's not that polluting either. Just like in the middle of last week, as most of this snow fell after the piste were groomed last night, the on-piste conditions right now are actually pretty horrible. It's all just scraped down to the icy base again, but they should be better tomorrow when the new snow's been groomed into the old base. This is more like it. I've said it before, Le Contamines is the most snow short of all the Evasion Mont Blanc ski areas. Indeed, it often has better snow than the Chamonix ski areas as well. But the pistes here are absolutely immaculate. Look at that. That is just on-piste perfection. The off-piste conditions are pretty good today too, which is why the piste conditions are holding up so well. Everyone who came here first thing this morning has come here to ski the off-piste, so still basically perfect corduroy in midday today. But this is what piste skiing is all about. If you love carving, you'll love Le Contamine. If you've never been to Le Contamines before, then I encourage you to check out my top 5 piste video. But to be honest, it's impossible to pick just 5 because they're all so good. Happy Guinness Day to all my Irish friends and followers, and indeed everyone who likes to pretend they're Irish for one day a year. Me, I'm Welsh, and apparently so is St. Patrick, so yaki da. This is a fairly classic weather setup here at Le Contamine. The cloud and fog that was in the valley bottom earlier in the day has now risen up as everything's heated up, and it's backed up against the ridge line here at Le Contamine. So virtually the whole ski area on the Contamine side now is in the fog and the cloud, with the exception of the run I'm on now, the Guy Croche I believe it's called. Whereas just to the other side of the ridge line, on the Haute-Loose side, it's still bluebird. So if you're ever here and you're in the fog, try heading down the other side 100 metres or so, and there's a good chance that it'll open out into clear blue sky. Home run to the village car park is still open, it is still complete. but the home run down to the gorge parking now is technically closed. It's pretty thin in a few places, but it's still very much skiable. It's Friday today and it's super warm now. I'm up at the top of Brevon, which is about 2,500 metres, and even on the north side here, the snow is really buttery, really warm. I think the freezing level is above 3,000 metres today. We've got quite a strong föhn effect in operation, and it's a southwesterly wind, so it's warm anyway. And you notice a bit of a distinctive orange hue in the sky as well, and it's getting very, very hazy. This is Saharan dust, it's on its way. This air mass has come all the way from the Saharan desert, across the Mediterranean and up into Europe. So yeah, for the first time this season really, we're getting a big plume of Saharan dust in the atmosphere. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a day or two's time, the snow is looking quite orange. Looking back, it seems that last Sunday was one of the best days of the season for many people, some of you included. You've already seen that for me in Saint-Gervais it was rather disappointing, but up here in Chamonix, especially at Grand Montet and also the Tour, there's some absolutely fantastic conditions to be had. The snow looked pretty phenomenal really. Sure, the visibility was very limited, but the sun did break through for a few brief periods, and then, yeah, anyone who was up there at those periods in time had an absolutely phenomenal time.
Under pressure. Bum, 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 bum. Down to the cannon thing. Okay. I shall. Oh god damn. Okay. Ali.
Some of my friends had headed across to Courmayeur, and yeah, they still had a great time, but it seems for once Chamonix actually got more snow than Courmayeur did. So, well yes, there is more snow, there's a deeper base over on the Courmayeur side. There's actually more fresh snow up here in the Grand Montet than there was in Courmayeur. Naturally, there were some great conditions to be found on the Vallée Blanche earlier in the week as well, but with that fresh snow came added danger of course. In the heat of last week, quite a few crevasses have started to open up, and then with a big dump of heavy snow over the weekend, that covered over the cracks again. So sadly, there was a fatality earlier in the week. A snowboarder who was part of a guided group, so he wasn't doing anything stupid or reckless, he just went straight a little bit off of the track of the guide or the rest of the group and just disappeared through a hole, and sadly by the time they found him he had passed away. So even this time of year, when the Vallée Blanche is about as good as it gets and as safe as it gets, it is never safe. It is always a serious undertaking. It is proper big mountain terrain. Your mountaineering skills are now so far more important than your skiing and snowboarding ability when it comes to staying safe on the Vallée Blanche. The snow today is pretty terrible. There's spring corn, which is amazing, and then there's this. This is basically just porridge. It's super soggy, super grabby, not nice at all. It feels like there was no proper refreeze last night. Maybe it was too cloudy. So instead of having just one day's melt, we've got at least 2 days worth of melt. So the snow just gets worse and worse and worse. So yeah, not an enjoyable day skiing today, unfortunately. A lot of people are really struggling in these heavy snow conditions today. I think that's the third blow wagon I've seen in the last hour. So yeah, it's not great for beginners and intermediates in these conditions either. It's also super busy today. I don't really know why. I've seen loads of school groups out. Maybe there's a holiday that I'm not aware of, or maybe it's just local kids doing their PE. But either way, it's really busy up here, given that it's mid-March and it's pretty poor snow. Yesterday I headed to Flaine for my annual pilgrimage to the Grand Massif, and it was absolutely fantastic. Beautiful bluebird day, immaculately groomed pistes, and the snow was holding up pretty damn well. Certainly a lot better than it is here in Chamonix. I'm sure it'll be suffering a bit more today, but given that they're starting from a higher bar, I bet it's better than it is here right now. Sure, the snow has of course still suffered lower down, especially in the villages sector of the ski area, but I think let's put a lot more effort into making snow early on in the season. So all the major pieces, even down low, still appear to be complete. Most of the home runs are still complete, and they're still wide as well. So yes, they're pretty soggy late on in the day, but you can still ski back to the resort, I think, in all the major villages in the ski area too. Unfortunately, the weather forecast next week is looking pretty grim so far. It's staying pretty cloudy. We've got some more weather moving through over the weekend, but initially freezing levels are going to be pretty high, so it's going to be very damp, very soggy. Sure, there'll be a little bit of fresh snow Sunday night into Monday maybe, and it is gradually speaking getting colder into next week, so the freezing level is going to come back down, snow line is going to come back down, so temperatures next week should be a bit more average compared to what they have been this week, but still, it's mid to late March now, it's very much spring, so average is actually quite warm. So yeah, expect the snow line and freezing levels to be around about 1800 metres maybe. Occasionally it'll snow lower, but it'll be very soggy, very wet. Also not expecting any huge totals at the moment, that might change of course, but yeah, just a few centimetres each day, up above 2000 metres, which isn't really going to transform things too much, and down in the valley it's going to be raining, so it's going to feel pretty miserable. But hey, forecasts can change. They've been wrong before, they can be wrong again. So if you are coming out here next week, don't despair too much. There's still no shortage of snow here. Should be able to have some fun either way, and we've still got plenty of life left in the season yet. Speaking of despair, you all seem to love misery. My best two performing videos this season by an absolute country mile are this and this. Worst start to the season ever, where's all the snow gone, etc. Whereas these videos, epic powder day, best day of my life, you're all a bit meh, take it or leave it. Sure, these titles are clickbait, but unfortunately, this is the proof of the pudding. I hate clickbait as much as the next guy, but it really, really works. So, unfortunately, I'm going to keep doing it. And you've only got yourselves to blame. If you want that to change, then of course, watch more of mine and all other YouTubers' non-clickbaity videos. The beginner slopes at Planards and balconies The beginner slopes at Planards and Balcons de Savoy are looking pretty desperate now. They're basically more mud than snow. Somehow the lifts are still running, but yeah, I don't know what they're really skiing on. It looks absolutely terrible. Up at Vormain, there's much better conditions up there. So if you are a beginner, Vormain, as always, is definitely the place to go. So that's enough porridge for me for one day. I think Goldilocks would have had a good day today. Me, not so much. If you're looking to book airport transfers, I'll leave the link for mountain drop-offs down in the description, or you can use the QR code here. If you're looking for new helmets, goggles, etc., that kind of thing, don't forget to take advantage of my 20% discount of Outdoor Master. Other than that, stay safe, have fun, and tune in next time.